Hello mga kababayan across the world, lalong-lalo na po sa ating mga kababayan who are in Canada. Welcome na naman sa bagong episode ng ating Pinoy Channel Weekly.
Yes, good evening sa mga kababayan natin sa Canada and good morning dun sa
Yes.
mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas because dito sa Canada it's 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Central Standard Time.
Yes.
Pero sa Pilipinas it's actually 9 a.m. So
Ayan.
magandang umaga sa inyo dyan mga kababayan in the Philippines.
Ano bang napag-usapan natin last week, Kuya Gani? Mag-recap lang tayo no, sa ating mga kababayan na hindi nakapanood last week.
Yes, and this is also a good time to remind yung mga kababayan natin, especially yung nandito sa Canada, that they can apply their parents and grandparents to be sponsored para dalhin nila dito sa Canada. And if you'd like to know kung paano gawin yon, just go to our Facebook page. Nakapost doon yung episode natin last week na ang guest natin is Mr. Jeric Mendoza. So magsisimula yung application on January 28th.
28th, ayan. So malapit na po yan. A few days na lang, January 28 na.
Yes.
Okay. So, marami kasing mga klase no or categories kung paano tayo as Filipinos makapunta dito in Canada.
Yes.
Yan nga yung isa. Pwede natin makuha yung parents, yung grandparents natin. People can come as permanent residents,
And
students.
you came in as a dependent.
Yes.
As a dependent of your father, right?
Yes.
Jeannie, no? Ako naman ang naging route ko going to Canada is I was a worker. I was tawag ba dyan, temporary foreign worker when I came in to Canada. Ang pinaka-critical kapag ikaw ay isang or gusto mo maging temporary foreign worker or become an immigrant to Canada is actually how to package ang inyong resume.
Ay, totoo yan. Kasi naalala ko, Kuya Gani, no, nung nag-uumpisa pa lang ako, fresh grad, yung resume ko kailangan may picture. Tapos inaalala ko, kailangan may pleasing personality.
Yes.
So, lahat ng pictures edited.
Yes. Importante yan kasi yan ang first step. Ano?
Yes.
Yan ang first hurdle mo na dapat i-overcome in the whole process. At nabanggit mo yung picture.
Yes.
Nabanggit mo yung pleasing personality.
Yes.
Apparently, those are one of the things that you should not be done in a
Yes.
Canadian resume.
In a Canadian resume,
Okay.
tama. Oo, tapos meron pa yan yung height, weight, naalala ko dati, religion.
Yes.
Yes, so ayan, dito po again in Canada, you should not be putting those on your resume.
Yes.
Ayan.
But we'd like to know more about how really to come up or write a resume Canadian way.
Tama.
Or acceptable to the Canadian standards.
Yes. And then aside from your resume, once na ipadala mo na yan, interview din.
Yes.
Diba? So how do you ace your interview kapag nasa Canada na kayo?
Okay. So,
Ayan.
wag na nating patagalin pa siguro. Let's introduce kung sino yung magiging resource person and guest natin for tonight, Jeannie.
Yes, so ang ating resource person for tonight, ang pangalan niya ay si Jill. Ayan, so Jill has over 12 years of experience no in Philippines and in Canada. So she has a graduate degree of psychology doon sa Pilipinas noong 2006. And then nakapagtrabaho siya sa IT, sa finance, accounting, engineering, agriculture, healthcare, pati skilled trades and technical. So napakarami, vast ng experience niya. Ayan, and then hindi lang sa Pilipinas, no, naging head din siya ng department. So, she was able to grow a department of 200 people to 600 people.
Wow, that's
working on her
three
own.
times.
Yes.
3 times its original size.
Exactly. So, dahil nga lumalaki na yung team nila, so she also had to hire 5 different people. And then, after that, she moved to Canada and pursued her passion in human resources.
Yes. Right now, she's actually based in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yes.
And we are based in Saskatoon. So we will use tonight's technology to bring her in.
Yes.
And introduce her to the world.
Ayan.
And to the world of Pinoy Channel.
Yes. So ayan po mga kababayan, susunod na makikita na ninyo si Jill, ang ating HR or Human Resources Strategist. Ayan, welcome back po mga kababayan. You're still with me, Jeannie, and...
Isagani?
Ayan. So, ayan, kasama na po natin ang ating guest for tonight, si
Yes.
Jill Masalonga, all the way
From
from
Winnipeg, Manitoba. So welcome to Pinoy Channel, Jill.
Hello. Hi, Ginny. Hi, Sagani.
Hi, kumusta ka, Jill?
Good. How are you guys?
We're
Good.
good.
We're cold, but good.
Yes, thank you for
Also
joining
cold.
us tonight.
Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita sa akin dito sa Pinoy Channel.
Ayan. So, kanina nga, Kuya Gani, no, na-introduce na natin si Jill sa ating mga kababayan. Pero sa mga nanonood na ngayon lang sumabaybay sa atin, ayan, Jill, maybe they're wondering, what is your background? Yan, maybe you can share with us.
So I've been doing recruitment for 12 years. Right now, I'm actually working for a staffing agency where I place people in different companies across Winnipeg. And actually, there's a possibility we partner with companies in Saskatchewan as well and in Ontario. So we hire people, we assess for their skills, and then we submit their profiles to the companies. The companies will interview them, and then the companies will actually pay us in return. So that's
Wow.
why.
So basically, si Jill is involved in the process of selecting
Yes.
prospective employees. Is that right, Jill?
Yes, we help companies to screen talents for them. So we are like an outsourced recruiters for this company.
Okay. Alam mo, na-intriga ako dito sa Canada. Ano ba
Yes.
what is the first step? How do I, if I am an employee, how do I make myself known to a prospective employer?
Yes.
So if you are an employee and you're looking for work, the first thing you need to do is go to the job website or the job board, like Indeed.ca. I know in Saskatchewan, you guys have
SAS
SAS
jobs, yes.
and also for other provinces, they have the Service Canada and they have website for each province. So let's say Manitoba, they have their own government website. Aside from that, LinkedIn is very popular right now. So especially for professionals, you can put a very good LinkedIn profile and actually recruiters can approach you through LinkedIn. As long as you put that you're looking for an opportunity.
So essentially, ang LinkedIn per se, mismo, would serve as your resume.
Yes. That is your online resume. Tama.
Oh, wow. So that's very interesting, no? So we have to create a very good profile on LinkedIn din pala, Kuya Gani. Ayan.
Kanina kasi, Jill, pinag-uusapan namin ni Jeannie, mga konting, there are things that we do in the Philippines
Yes.
that it seems like we should not do in Canada. For example, yung kanina pinag-usapan namin ni Jeannie yung paglalagay ng picture.
Picture.
Or stating in our resume na with pleasing personality or indicating our gender, our religion. What are the basic differences of a resume in the Philippines and a resume in Canada?
Actually, I'm gonna correct it. Your question about the difference of resume from Philippines and Canada, I would say na wala naman. Resumes are universal wherever you are. What you need or what we need to understand is the behavior of recruiters in a specific country. So, for example, here in Canada, recruiters are looking for specific items, specific skills that recruiters in the Philippines won't look for them. Here in Canada, it's very sensitive You don't have to put your picture in it. You don't have to put your gender, your height, because they follow the Canadian labor law legislation of being you know for everybody. So we need to avoid this bias.
What are your tips maybe in writing a very good resume?
Okay. So I actually have the do's and don'ts for resume writing. For the do's, number one is you have to keep it clean. You have to keep it simple. How is it? So you have to keep your resume like the font, the format, and the layout very plain and simple. You don't have to put borders in it. You don't have to put boxes in it. Because other people, they think that, if it's more beautiful looking,
More fancy.
it's actually better. But actually, the truth is, it's not. The main reason behind it is right now, when you submit your resume to a website, they have the recruitment system which actually scans your profile. So they're looking for the keywords there. So if you keep your resume, like the formatting and layout, simple, it's actually the better.
Hmm.
Yes. And then number two, you focus on your accomplishment rather than duties and responsibilities. When you prepare your resume and you have long duties and responsibilities there, I will say recruiters don't actually read them because they can actually ask them during the interview. So if you want to get the attention of recruiters, focus on the accomplishment that you actually contributed to your previous company. And then number three, you have to customize your resume per the position that you're applying for.
Yes.
Yes, why? Because some of the resumes right now, you only have one resume and you will feel other companies are not calling you. It's because it's not really customized to the job posting that they have. So you have to customize it per the position that you're applying. Sa totoo lang, when I was applying here, I have like, I think 30 different resumes.
Yeah, because you have to customize it, right? If you're applying for 30 different companies.
So it should be very specific or
Yes.
tailored to whatever the requirements of the position specifically.
That's true. And then for the don'ts, we have talked about it already. So don't put photo in it. If you accidentally put photo in it, it could create negative or positive bias of the recruiter, and we don't want that to happen. And then instead of actually writing objective, I would advise to write personal branding. Objectives, as we know, is, for example, to land a position in human resources. But right now, we can replace it with personal branding. Like top recruiter connecting candidates to their dream careers. Something like that. Or a customer-focused sales professional.
Okay, so ayan, instead of objectives, we put personal
Branding.
branding. Yeah, that's good to know, Kuya Gani.
Mention mo kanina about keywords, Jill. So, ibig sabihin, these resumes are selected from a huge database, I would imagine.
Yes, that's true. So systems are intelligent. So once you have lots of keywords in it, especially sometimes if you put the systems that you're using and this is what the position is looking for, let's say for example, SAP, and that is in your resume, that will be good for you because that is a higher match for you for that position. And when you are a higher match for the position, more chances that you will be called for the position. Yeah, because imagine how many people are applying for a position, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we receive 100 to 200 resumes per week.
Just for one single position.
Wow.
Yes, just for one single position.
Wow,
Okay.
ayan. So mga kababayan, nalaman na natin ang do's and don'ts in resume writing. So once we are done with the resume, tapos you had a callback, ang susunod na dyan ay ang interview. Ayan, Jill. So maybe moving on, do you have any tips? Ayan, meron ba tayong do's and don'ts during an interview here in Canada?
Yes, for sure. So the do's and don'ts for me, this is also based on my personal experience because I've been doing interviews for 12 years and I know the best behavior of candidates. First of all, the do's is turn off your mobile phone any device before the interview. It's funny because there are still people who and even higher positions, they forget to turn off their mobile phones, and it's kind of a turn off for the recruiter. Second, you have to listen carefully to the question. You might be the right candidate for the position, but if you don't listen to the questions and you're answering it differently, then that will be a big problem. Third is you just have to showcase personality. Remember that you are competing for the position. So there might be other 3 or 4 candidates that are being interviewed. So if you focus on your personality and showing them that you have good attitude and aside from your skills, you are trainable, possibly you will get the job. As for the don'ts, I would say don't be arrogant.
Ayan.
I'm not saying that it's common for like Filipinos. No. But maybe this is for experienced people, right? Because sometimes you feel like interviews are just for formality. You are the best candidate. It's good to show that you're confident, but there's also a fine line between being confident and being arrogant. Second dose is don't ask about salary or benefit during the interview. Yes, because asking salary and benefit means that you're only after the salary and not the opportunity and not the position itself. Remember that companies they would offer you a good salary, but they would be afraid that you will just leave the position if you find a better salary out there. Right? So don't ask about salary and benefit. Wait till the recruiter or the HR discuss about the salary and benefit. And I think last but not the least is avoid giving one-word answers like yes or no. For example, you have to expound on your answer because the more you expound on your answers, the more you show that you're very interested with the interview.
Yeah, that's a very good tip talaga, no, Jeannie, no, na during the interview process, avoid a yes or no answer. Like,
Yes.
because that is really an opportunity for you to sell yourself. So when you're
Yes.
asked a question, I think dagdagan mo ng something that would add value to yourself.
Yes, add facts because you're showcasing what you have, right? Your accomplishments and your talents and what you can do for the company. Ayan.
And it's very, very important yung nabanggit kanina ni Jill. Turn off your cell phone.
Yes, of course.
Because at that point in time, the most important thing is that interview.
Yeah.
Kasi kung pag may mag-ring dyan or may nag-text, it just means to say na may mas importante pa kesa
Tama.
sa pag-a-apply ng trabaho na
Yes,
gano'n.
yes. Ang favorite ko naman, Kuya Gan, sa sinabi ni Jill, is yung there's a fine line between being confident and being arrogant.
Yes.
Alright? Kasi kung minsan sumusobra, nagiging masyadong mahangin yung dating.
Exactly.
Ayan.
Exactly.
Ayan. So Jill, thank you very much for sharing the do's and the don'ts. And ito naman, para sa mga kababayan natin, no, who did not get the job, right? What should they do after?
If you don't get the job, don't feel frustrated about it. When I was new here in Canada, it took me several months before I landed a job. And you have to remember that job searching is actually a job itself. So if you don't actually get the job, move on to another opportunity. But remember, when you move on to another opportunity, make sure that it matches your skills and qualifications. Because you don't just apply to a job just to have a job. Make sure that you're actually qualified for the job.
Yeah, and that's so true, no? Because it's really hard to find qualified people for the right job. Ayan, more so in Canada.
And I think it's also very important that the job you're applying is in line with your interest.
Yes. Ayan,
Yes.
because you don't want to go there and feel like you're dragging yourself every single day just because you
Exactly.
need to get paid, right?
Exactly. Naalala
Yeah.
ko ako when I was applying, I applied to a lot. I mean, hindi naman, wala kasing demerit
Yes.
pag hindi ka natanggap or kapag marami kang ina-applyan. It would only take one employer to say yes to you.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's so true. So don't get frustrated, just move on and move to another opportunity.
Yeah, because as they say, Canada is the land of opportunities.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Actually, I don't know if it could be edited or what, but I'm actually helping new immigrants, newcomers to Canada. It has been my plan to put up a Facebook page to actually give tips on interviews, resume writing, cover letter. So if you guys will check out my Facebook page, you will benefit from it.
For sure. So what's your Facebook page, Jill?
Jill Masalonga Consulting. It's a blog for helping newcomers to Canada.
Actually, yung one of the blogs ni Jill on resume writing has been shared in our Facebook page
Oh, yes.
a month ago or
Yes.
several weeks ago.
Ayan.
Thank
Again,
you
mga
so much.
kababayan, Jill Masalonga Consulting. Thank you very much for joining us, Jill.
Thank you. Maraming salamat, Ginny and Sagani.
Ayan. Have a good night in Winnipeg. Does this one feel tight enough?
Yeah. Jeannie Buon has always dreamed of having her own bridal store.
I always had this vision, that I'll be designing dresses, designing bags.
Born in the Philippines, Buon immigrated to Canada in 2011 and started realizing her dreams, launching her first brand via Hera Canada in 2017 and recently taking over ownership of Mylan Bridal.
The yellow one is dyed with turmeric.
Buon is an advocate for sustainable products.
Growing up, I lived a sustainable and ethical life, not because we need to, but because we had to.
Her bags are eco-friendly and ethically sourced.
I designed the bags in Canada and then send them over to the Philippines. And women who are victims of Typhoon Haiyan hand makes them for me. I need to empower women. I need to help women to be able to create livelihood for them.
Now she's hoping to apply those principles to the bridal store, looking to bring in eco-friendly and sustainable dresses within the year.
We're looking into, getting suppliers already from Cambodia, Vietnam, Canada, or even the U.S.
Buon's goals also include giving back. A portion of proceeds from the bags and dresses have helped send more than 160 kids in Indonesia to school.
Growing up, I was a scholar as well in school, and without people helping me to go to school, I won't be where I am right now. Giving kids an opportunity, to get a proper education, learn English, be a global citizen, that means a lot to me.
Her values in business, a reflection of her everyday life. Nicole Stilger, Global News.
Ayan mga kababayan, there you have it. We hope na marami kayong natutunan ngayon dahil nag-enjoy kami with our conversation with Jill Masalonga.
Yes. Yung pinaka-favorite ko talaga doon, Jeannie, yung sinasabi ni Jill na resumes are actually universal.
Yes.
However, it should depend on your target employer. So kung ano yung sa tingin mo gustong makita ng employer, you should tailor it according to that need.
Yan. Ako naman, ang favorite ko dun sa mga sinabi ni Jill is, nasabi ko rin kanina, na there is a fine line between being confident and being arrogant. I love that.
Exactly. And then, lastly, yung sinabi niya, if you don't get the job, there are still other jobs out there. Move on. And then, huwag masyadong dibdibin because that job was not meant for you.
Yes, ayan. So again mga kababayan, huwag yung dibdibin. Just move on. Mag-move on na tayo. Ayan.
Exactly.
So maraming salamat po uli sa ating mga kababayan across the world. Thank you very much for tuning in. Itong video po natin will be shared on Facebook. So after our episode ngayon, makikita nyo ulit ito. Please like and share. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to email us or to send us a message here on Facebook.
And we're looking still for our correspondents.
Yes.
All over the world. If you are in Saudi Arabia, Europe, America, if you want to share your being Filipino, join us in Pinoy Channel.
Ayan, kasi lumalaki na ang ating Pinoy Channel family.
That's right.
So once again, thank you very much mga kababayan and good morning sa inyong mga nasa Pilipinas. Ako po si Jeannie Buon.
Ako po si Isagani.
And this has been your
Pinoy Channel Weekly.